Good morning. This is Judy from Artistic Artifacts. We are located in Alexandria, Virginia with our store and online at artisticartifacts.com, social media outlets, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube. We post these are live so that they stay on our Facebook page for a little while. And then we do take them and post them on our YouTube channel. So you do have the opportunity to watch the recording. We try to keep up with questions. We're happy to have you post those. But probably until when we do the next one, we've kind of lost track of the other ones. So sorry, just being transparent there. But we hope that we give you some information that will help you each time we do these lives. They're to reach out and greet all our customers around the country and those of you who are local as well. A couple announcements. One, our new website is coming. We're really close to launching our website. Websites are on platforms, so to speak, and we are moving from one platform to another platform. That is also going to change how we operate in the store for those of you who come and shop with us in person. We will now have accounts for customers. We will have an account that feeds your online to your in-person, and it's just going to be so much better. But it might be a little tricky up front. So we will do our best to help make that a smooth transition for you and for everybody that works for me. I've been using the same system for 10 years, so new things are great, and we're really excited about this, but we hope to limit the hiccups, which are inevitable for when you're trying to start something new. But we think that it will make some really awesome advancements for us. That, as I said, hopefully in a week we'll be able to do that. Now, in person, we have some BERNINA Black Friday, absolutely awesome prices and opportunities that are starting November 17th. And we are just very excited about these opportunities. And we have a new catalog from BERNINA that outlines them, as well as some great deals and opportunities for those of you who come in person to Artistic Artifacts and learn about our community, our tech, our warranty, our mastery class. We have our mastery class in person. We have been doing it via Zoom because of the whole pandemic. We were one of the few stores that continued to offer mastery classes through the pandemic. And we're very proud of that, and we have now brought everybody back into the store for in-person classes, so we're excited. All right, but absolutely come talk to us. If you have been waiting to purchase your machine and you're not, it's like, oh, do I do it? Do I not do it? Now is the time. These are the best deals I have ever seen, and we are happy to get you in the right machine for you. The right second machine, the embroidery only machine, the Q machine, and now we can offer you BERNINA long arms. So please come talk to us in person. We would love to help you work with us on a BERNINA machine. We are very, very competitively priced. So we are hoping to make you happy and have you be part of our community. So, with that being said, we're going to talk about the BERNINA Stitch Regulator. Certain BERNINA machines have the stitch regulator that comes with it. It starts at the 5 series, 7 series, and the 8 series. If you have a 4 series, I think a 480, I would have to check and make sure, but it's compatible with the BERNINA Stitch Regulator. It does not come with the machine. But you can still, if it's something that you're interested in, you have a 4 series, we can sell you a foot. That's a BERNINA Stitch Regulator. And all BERNINA feet are on sale at 25% off. You will get that discount whether you shop online with us or shop in person. So that is coming for the month of December. So if you don't have a BERNINA Stitch Regulator and you're interested in one, that's the time to do it. So the machine, the stitch regulator is like a little mini computer. It is packed very carefully. It has this little, where is it? Okay, has this little thing that's supposed to be on this all the time. So it comes, yeah, see, so this is your little computer. It has 3 different feet. So we have this one. We have this one. Kind of looks like your machine foot that you have. We have this cup one also. So, how do you change these? Which one do you use? I think that really becomes a personal preference. I suggest that you use all 3 of them and find which one you like. And sometimes it's based on the task. So you have these buttons here, these white buttons. What? Moving too fast? Okay, sorry. All right, and I want to put this one in. So see these? They're going to clamp onto this. I push them in. Pops out. See how that works? It's this white button. Okay, so as I said, it is a little mini computer, so we need to treat it carefully, and it will plug into the back of a machine. So let's see. Let me show you this back here. I have this, I'm on the 790 Pro, and Kyle, come where I am, sorry. So you have that, and you can see right here, and it's marked for the BSR, is where you plug it in. So now we have the mini computer talking to the big computer, and that's important that you treat this piece like a computer, that it is. All right, so it comes with 3 different feet, and it's, I will show you, it comes in a little box like this. So when you unpack your machine, your new machine, this is one of those things that we're going to point out to you when you do that. We have everybody check everything in the box to make sure we confirm we get you everything that comes with the machine at the time. So this is one of those things we'll point out to you. All right, what is cool about the BERNINA Stitch Regulator is that it's going to allow you to sew this way, sew this way, this way, this way. So it shows you circles, you can make squares, you can do all kinds of patterns without being regulated by the feed dogs, because not only are you attaching a BERNINA Stitch Regulator, you are dropping your feed dogs. So what that means is now you are controlling where the fabric is going. And that is something that's a lot of fun. And let me just show you a couple of things that kind of, this shows you, this is our Roosley Batik panel. And this can show you how fun a stitch regulator can be. All those squigglies and turns, all of those little shapes that are fun for this one is going to, that was all done free motion, and that's what it's called, free motion BERNINA Stitch Regulator. I just found I could do this on my own, meaning I didn't need a stitch regulator when I first started sewing, but then when I got a machine that was compatible for it, it was like, oh my gosh, I've been missing this tool. So that is, and then this is another Roosley panel by Chris, who actually cut hers up, and she combined machine stitching with hand stitching. So I'm just kind of showing you, there's variegated threads, there's solid threads. You can work with rayon threads, polyester threads. When I first started sewing, I sewed with rayon because everything I did was free motion.
Yeah, one question. Do all the CAFE special editions come with a stitch regulator?
The 770 only. The 475 does not. The 550,
570,
the 570 and 770, yes. Not the 475. It's compatible, but it does not come with it.
So you have to buy that.
And it's about $1,000 for the foot. So when you're thinking about when you buy the machine, be aware there's a couple of things that jump the price. Dual feed is one, and whether the BERNINA Stitch Regulator comes with it or not with it. And that's what's really making some of the price differences between a 4 and a 5 series.
Juana's on.
Oh, hi Juana. Juana's our friend in Italy.
We also have somebody here from Germany today.
Germany,
Oh.
wonderful. That's awesome.
Good morning, I think.
Good morning. No, I think that they're 6 hours ahead too.
Oh.
So, all right. So, let's talk about tools. Free motion there's a couple of things. You have to think about your body, and you have to think about tools that make it a little bit easier to work with. Some people like gloves, and what gloves do is it sticks to your quilt, so it helps you move it on the surface, and the gloves kind of work. I've gotten a little past the gloves. Maybe it's because I can never find my gloves, but Atsu. The other thing that's helpful is these slide glide sheets. So this is one, and then here we go. Here's another one. So these are going to, if you look at this piece, I'm actually don't have my backing on it, and batting's going to drag. So I definitely need something to make it smooth and move. So I'll show you that in a minute. But there's definitely options, and I highly suggest getting one of those. They even have a queen size that works on the Q20s and the Q16s that give you the space. It just makes life easier. Absolutely. Gloves, they're great. They work. Lots and lots of books. Free motion combinations. These are all wonderful. I generally let my fabric tell me where to stitch, but I do small quilts. I know that there's people that do blocks and do custom, and they're so wonderful, and I run out of ideas, so these are really great ideas. I would also, one of our customers Susan brought her journal in, and she was doodling, and you could tell she does machine quilting on a frame, but she's taking all those doodles and practicing them by hand, and then when she goes to the machine, they're already in the brain. So I would suggest a journal of some type where you just doodle, Zentangle, draw lines, think about where you want it to go. It's very helpful, and I think that's a lot of these teachers who teach free motion, publish these books, that's what they've done. They have gone and looked at their journal and come up with idea. So Christina has a series of books. This is the first one, talks about needles, talks about the journal, your threads, all of these things. So we would highly recommend. So here's this. This is what I'm talking about. All those ideas. All right. The next thing I want to show you, these are gripper rings. BERNINA has gripper rings. And I have to admit that I hadn't used them very much. And one of the women that works with me, Barbara, swears by them. So she has a Q20 sit down. She uses these all the time. Well, I'm working on a BERNINA 790 Pro in one of the BERNINA lift tables. So I have a great table space, that is equal to half at least of this Q20 space, if you can see that. All right, so this becomes a tool that can be used on a domestic machine that I think helps take the pressure off your shoulders. So if anybody's been quilting and that, you know, they come up and they go, oh, you know, where's my shoulders? This helps take that pressure off. Now, the disadvantage to it is that the quilting space that you have is in the circle, and it's limited versus being wide open. Okay? But I think that I used this morning and it helped. Yes?
Two other things that I think are very helpful is one, having your chair at the appropriate height.
Yes.
And if you don't have a lift table, having a Sew Steady table with the bigger space.
Right. And a Sew Steady table this is one here where it's going to slide onto this and it increases your table space. So Sew Steady is the name of the company. Order online. We do carry some of them in the store, but we want to be, in the future, we'll be able to have you order them online and we'll ship them directly to you.
And they make them specific to your
machine. Absolutely. See, it's all fit to the machine. This is up here and this is snug. And they have multiple sizes. You can go larger than this and you can go smaller. So the Sew Steady is wonderful. Somebody asked me, do you have a slide-on table for your machine? I was like, no. I take the slide-on off immediately, and I use the Sew Steady for years. And so I needed a little bit more surface. All right. So let me show you. So one of the things, we talked about the BERNINA Stitch Regulator, but one of the other items that we wanted to feature in this Facebook Live is the Rusli batik panels. So we showed you two, but I just wanted to show you some of the ones. To me, they're just very Kandinsky, very fun. These are made in Indonesia. Wax and dye, all individually done. There's different colors, different patterns. They're all on our website. Generally, this is the size that we have. All of them are about this size. And the other thing that we have is, this is a pattern from my book that I wrote about using batik panels in your quilts. And this will give you, it has some Indonesian fabric, it has the Rusli panels, and it creates a large size quilt there. And these blocks are a good size. You can get a good size quilt by just increasing your borders or your blocks and things. We have, I think, a couple of these left. And we won't be able to make them again. All right, are there any questions so far? Okay, so one of the things, and we learned this from one of the teachers that came and taught here for us, is that you really want to watch how your shoulders are. So this table is really pretty cool because the whole table itself will go up and down depending on your height. And then there's a different button that brings your machine down. So that's why we have the extra embroidery module off to the side. And then we will bring the machine up and put the embroidery module back on to use it there. So this is a really nice piece of equipment.
Is that lift table only for the 790 Pro, or does it fit other machines?
It will fit other machines. That's great comment. It will fit. It's all determined by this acrylic. that's in here that is custom cut to fit the machine that you want. All right. So if when I practiced a little bit yesterday, this was dragging for me. So now I've added this sew slip here. And I can, I always use this button. So I am in BSR 1. That's the one I like. I find that people either like 2 or 1. So let me just show you this one. All right, this is BSR 1. So it's still going and it's stitching. Even when I stop, it's going to stitch. So I'm working with red Wonderful cotton. It is a little bit variegated, but I don't see it that much in these. I'm trying to get some whimsical patterns here. And you will notice that fast is not better. I don't go fast, some people do. If I don't like the way it looks, I go over it and make it look like I did that on purpose. You know, this is nothing about being perfect. This is about being whimsical. All right. Now, I am using my power button that is on my machine rather than my foot pedal. Takes a little bit of time to get used to that, but now I don't have to coordinate. My brain doesn't have to think about what is my foot pedal doing, what is my machine doing. I have a power button and I'm focusing all on top of the table here. All right, this power button is really cool. So I kind of put this attuned to thread sketching because I'm just making it up. All right, I'm gonna stop here. Now, this is BERNINA Stitch Regulator 2. You will see, all right, I have my power on and my needle is not moving. When I move my fabric, that is controlling the power for the machine. So there are some advantages to each mode, I guess is what you want to say, whether it's a BSR 1 or a BSR 2.
Do you lower the motor speed when you do this?
You can. What do I have my speed on? I have it up, but you can adjust the speed within the BERNINA Stitch Regulator. You can adjust the tension. You can, so if you have what we call eyelashing, you'll need to adjust just a little bit, and it's as easy on this one if you come here. So on the 790 Pro you have Wi-Fi and I have my tension here, and on my older machine I had to reduce it. So what that means is I reduce the tension on the top so that my bobbin thread is going to pull it on the bottom. So there's some things that you can do with that. This is sewing at so yeah, I could just do that. This is sewing right out of the box. I haven't had to change anything. I do have 50 weight thread in the top and I have 50 weight thread in the bottom. When I put deco bob in the bottom and I have a different thread in the top, then you definitely have to adjust your tension. You're going to want to test it before you jump into your piece. Ask me how I know that one. I do also have, this one is equipped with a laser. This one is equipped with a scissors.
So the laser's the red dot?
Yes, right there. Can you see the red dot there? and that is on this machine. Okay, now
someone's asked to describe the layers that you are stitching.
Okay, so because I'm doing so much, there's a couple options. So this is my batik panel. I put my edge on it. I did have interfacing on here only, and it was very thin, and that was not at my comfort level. Some people are really great with that. I needed to add batting, so I now have batting on here. I do not have a back because I wasn't going to show all this stitching, so it's not bad, it's fine. But what'll happen is when I go to put my backing on this, I am going to loosely stitch, probably with my walking foot, some edges to keep my quilt together. But that's why I did it this way. It's not necessarily the only way to do it. If I was smart, I probably would have put the back on it and just be done with it. But I went the extra step. I know that when we did the other one, it was a Rusli panel and an interfacing. So on a previous Facebook Live, somebody asked me about SP101, I think, which was a fusible on one side, and guess what? We sell it. So I didn't know about it because I was stuck in my rut of using my own way. So I tried that on this one, but I needed a little bit more thickness, I guess, to go forward. Again, it's just a personal thing.
So someone else asked a question about the size of the piece as you're quilting to be able to hold on to it. I know you work with smaller pieces when you're doing your art cards.
Yeah, I do really work with small pieces. Like, I have not machine quilted like a twin bed. I stay very small. So
when we had free motion quilting class a couple years ago, for the class they recommended an 18-inch square sandwich.
Right.
Just to be able, which
to
is
test it.
A little bit about what you're doing. You've got your batting a little bit bigger, but it gives you a good size to work with as you're getting that hand mine
right, hand
motion. Yeah, the coordination part.
I really I recommend some pattern. Okay, I don't. This is just, it could be flowers, it could be, I find that when I use a solid piece of fabric and I'm trying to do some free motion patterns, that I have no imagination. I need the fabric to tell me where the stitching is. So this is what I practiced on. I pulled this out, and this is not even as pattern as I like it. Normally I like flowers and, you know, I give a piece of cake, but this one kind of intrigued me. Yeah, there you go. This would work, something like that. So I say make the 8-inch square batting, 18-inch square batting piece, but use a patterned fabric. I think that that's easier to come up with patterns. Just let the fabric tell you what it is you want. I mean, this is lots and lots of circles and lines and drifts. That's what this is. But I think that that's easier to learn on than a plain piece of fabric. I don't know, everybody else likes plain, but I don't. I need the fabric to tell me what to do. That's why I like these panels. All my panels that I did that were in that book that I created, I would have to say they were all free motion, except for the larger ones. That is, and I just used the panel to tell me where to stitch. I would outline the piece, show the fish, whatever it was, that was generally how I did it. But larger ones, I don't have enough experience to speak to that. I know that there are many more teachers out there on the web that can give you better answers about, well, how do I quilt a twin or a queen size? That's not my expertise.
On the domestic.
On a domestic.
Then you can go to the long arm.
Yeah. So let me just show you what I mean by this one. So here is the larger of the two gripper rings. And let's come over here. And I try to bring my thread up. Sometimes it works. I don't really sweat the small stuff, so I'm going to go back to 1 because that's what I like. Find my scissors. So I'm holding these here. The other thing that I did this morning is that I looked at my machine and I oiled it, and I just checked to make sure there wasn't any threads hanging up anywhere. So I did do that. I like curves. Chris and I joke because I seem to only be able to do curves and she does squares. So that is pretty funny, but again, it's just kind of, you know, the habit that you get into. All right. Okay. So, we of course love the 790 Pro. That's available, so with lots of gifts. Now I want to show you, we've done a previous Facebook Live on the Q20. So we do have sit downs, and there is a killer deal on a Q16 coming up. And we have Q16s, Q20s in stock, ready to go. But
one question.
Oh, yeah.
Do we have the Bernina, the grippers on our website?
Yeah.
We'll check.
We'll check. If not, we'll have Sharon put them up on Monday. So yes, they are really a great tool. Now, we went into long arms. So this is, I wanted to show you the difference. So when you're working on a domestic machine, you're moving your fabric. When you're working on with a long arm on a frame, you are moving the head, whether it's by the computer or by personally using the head. So I was very excited by this because now we can get to our larger pieces. So you could put a beautiful art quilt on here and do thread painting. You could put a twin and do your, each block individually and have your own pattern. But so what I did, again, I like the fabric to talk to me rather than the blank slate that kind of intimidates me a little bit. So here is the Q20. It's on a 5-foot studio frame. We recommend the Q20 on a 10-foot studio frame if you can get the space, because that allows you to go bigger with quilts. So here we have handlebars. Kind of reminds you of gripper rings, right? And I have the handlebars programmed, so they're shortcuts. So my power is on my handle, and I am going to move it, and of course I didn't do a really bright fabric thread, but I am using the fabric to tell me where they want me to stitch. And of course this Denise Burkett fabric is, I think, from her previous collection, and her stuff just screams thread. Her beautiful fabrics just to me say, ooh, get it up, do more thread. So this allows you the same freedom, because it is a Bernina Stitch Regulator that is on here. Starting with the Q16s, they have 2 stitch regulators. And you can see the laser is on, as well as, can you see these lights here? Those are your Bernina Stitch Regulators that are underneath it. The other thing that I really love about these machines is if you are already a Bernina owner, the transition to these long arm machines is really easy. It's very intuitive. If you haven't operated a Bernina, these machines are so less complicated than the competition that's out there. So you're going to definitely want to try them. They are easier to use. The quality is higher. The BERNINA Stitch Regulator is fantastic. But so this is kind of, to me, the idea of a whole cloth that could easily be blocks, anything you want. That is what I think is really cool about this demonstration here.
We have two questions.
Uh-huh.
One is, would you comment on your needle and also the fact that the long arm uses a domestic needle?
Thank you. Thank you.
The other is the question, do we have the Sew Steady sliders, and we have them in stock and on the website?
Yes, we do. We have both the green, the Sew Steady, and the Sew Slip is on the web and in stock. Okay, so again, this is great. Thank you for the nudge. BERNINA long arms use domestic needles. No other long arm does that. So I don't have to have multiple needles that say long arm. The difference is that the long arm needles that you have has no front and back. Those of us who are used to sewing with a domestic needle has a flat back, and we know when it's in right. So you have no problem with making sure that that needle is in there correctly. BERNINA is the only long arm that does that. So what I generally use when I am doing free motion is I will use a 90. There is some conversation that you use a 90 embroidery because embroidery means movement. Top stitch means straight. I actually probably have a 90 universal in there, which I haven't been using in the past, but have found that those are pretty problem free. And this is sewing on 3 layers, or actually fabric, batting, and a backing. So that I definitely do a 90 machine. And if I'm doing a free motion like this and maybe not a twin or whatever, I will look at my thread on the top and my thread on the bottom combination. Most of the time I will try to use Deco Bob in the bottom because it's lighter weight thread and it has less weight to it, whereas all my stitching is on the top.
I think those are the only questions.
The only questions? All right, and if you don't want to do it with a BERNINA Stitch Regulator, we can always set you up with a Q-matic. And this is the large one. Oh, we didn't get this turned on today. Sorry. So this one, you can have a computer that you can design your programs on and put that in there and have your computer and your machine head do your quilting for you. But you also can disengage the computer and the Q-matic, and you can do it by hand as well. So we can cover anything you need on the quilting basis. All right, any questions? I hope it really is just meant to give you a little bit of an introduction and show you the materials that hopefully are better. I just have so many customers that come back to me and say, but I haven't used my BERNINA Stitch Regulator. Please use it. Please, please. It is an awesome tool for you to use. And I'm all about using the tools that you come with your machine. Your BERNINA has amazing stitch, amazing tools, and we want you to use them. So thank you for being part of our community. Thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you in the future.